A little while ago, we were at a farm shop and we watched them unpack a fresh delivery of duck eggs. Well, we looked at each other and we said, oh, wouldn't it be nice to try and hatch some duck eggs? I mean, we'd heard that some people had hatched duck eggs from the supermarket and, wouldn't it be fun? And whichever one of us had the sensible head on that day said, well, we've tried to hatch chicken eggs, we haven't had much luck. And we were going to get chicken eggs. We've got this big plan of what we're going to get and how we're going to... And we had this plan. And that the duck eggs probably wouldn't be fertile anyway, and why bother, what a waste. Well, we bought our bits and bobs and off we went back to the car. And halfway back to the car, one of us turned to the other one and said, oh, but wouldn't ducklings be cute? May have been me. But for some time we had made the occasional impulse buy of eggs. Things that wouldn't be likely to be fertile, but just in case it might be fun. And we hadn't had a single one hatch. We'd had more than 3 dozen in total in the incubator. So I was fully expecting this to be exactly the same. I was convinced this time would be no different. It would be the same story and these two would end up double bagged. So when we finally got round to candling the eggs at around day 10, 11, something like that, and the first one I picked up was fertile, and the second one was fertile, and the third and fourth and fifth and sixth. So I placed the incubator lid back on, knowing that there were 6 fertile eggs in it. Well, of course, there was some more furious Googling to find out how best to incubate ducks. Should we cool them? Should we not cool them? Did they need spraying? Or would we leave them? We didn't even know if they were duck eggs, which need 28 days, or whether they were Muscovy duck eggs, which need 35 days. We had no idea. We'd need to know that because it's kind of important when it comes to lockdown for the last 2 days of incubation. So we had asked the person in the shop, but they had no idea. Obviously no one had been stupid enough to try and incubate them before. But we settled on 37.5 degrees Celsius, which I think is 99 degrees Fahrenheit, something like that, which seemed to be the consensus. We would cool the eggs once a day, and I would spray them twice a day. Now, most places would cool the eggs for longer than that, but my house runs pretty cold anyway. And it's the middle of winter, so frankly I was a bit nervous doing even that. So the incubator had an automatic timer, so it's just a case of leaving them in there, checking them twice a day, and spraying them and mucking about with them as little as possible. Well, I resigned myself to the fact that they probably wouldn't pull through. I didn't know what I was doing. I was relying on Google with eggs that I didn't really know what they were. So most likely we wouldn't be successful. He started picking out names. Okay, so I just got home and I checked the duck eggs and the temperature was 28 degrees and I don't know why, because I haven't touched it and I don't think there's been a power cut. The alarm wasn't going off, so I think it must have been at that temperature for a while. I can't remember whether I checked them this morning. I mean, I think I did, but I can't remember whether I checked them. So they may well have been like that since I checked them last night. Okay, so I couldn't actually get the temperature to rise on my incubator for the duck eggs. Thankfully, I do have another incubator, which is smaller, because I've been using the Brinsea Advance Maxi to Advance, or whatever it's called, and I've got a Brinsea Mini Advance. So I've moved moved the eggs to the Brinsea Mini Advance, and I don't know whether the temperature's damaged them. I don't know how long they've been at that temperature. We've got 7 more days to go if they are normal duck eggs. Obviously more if they're Muscovy, but we think that they're normal duck eggs. So we will have to wait and see. Fingers crossed. Well, we're at lockdown now for normal duck eggs, for duck eggs, which is what we think they are. We don't think they're Muscovies because of the size of the egg, and also because of the progression that they're making with the growing inside. It's a technical term. I've candled them and I'm pretty sure that at least 3 of them are moving. So I've got my fingers crossed there. Maybe 4, but it's really difficult to tell. I'm not experienced with hatching eggs and it's somewhat difficult to see sometimes. Sometimes I don't know whether it's my imagination either. Again, I don't want to be sitting there and holding them out of the incubator for so long that they get too cold. So we're going to just hope for the best and see what happens. And I will meet you on hatching day. Oh, I see his little face. Hello. Hello. Hello, little beak. Hello. Oh, come on out. Come on. What are you eating the membrane for? Hello. You see the little milk tooth? Milk tooth? Egg tooth. Egg tooth. We have milk teeth, they have egg teeth. That's why he's eating the egg, maybe. That's so cute. You having fun there?
I'll say it again any second now.
Come on, little bop bop. Little quack quack. Release the quacken. Oh, that's so exciting. Come on, you nearly there. Come on. Come on, stripped fluff.
I think that's the head just
I think
in
so.
there.
There's a wing. It's definitely got a wing. Nearly there. There you go, nearly. Sort of up against the specs.
Mm.
Hello, beak.
Someone's going to come and join you soon.
Come on, number 2, no more slacking. Sadly, one of the eggs hadn't developed as much as the others. I know it was still alive when the others hatched and we took the chicks out, but it hadn't even pipped internally, and I'm not sure why. Now, it could be that it got colder than the others. It could be that maybe it was weak in some way, or there could be any other reason that it just didn't hatch. Like bacteria could have gotten into it, anything like really. So I gave it another few days in the incubator just in case, and then I checked on it, but there was no movement. And when I opened the egg to check, it clearly had died a little while before. What we do have though are 5 amazingly cute ducklings. 2 came out the first day, so they're technically 2 days or 1 day older than the others, and then the other 3 came out with a little bit of help with one of them. I think the Brinsea Advance is a little bit too short for ducklings, as we worried so much about them that, like, when we watched them in there for a little while, normally you'd leave them in to fluff up. We watched them in there for a little while, but they couldn't stand up properly and they couldn't move, and they seemed to be getting a bit distressed, so we took them out sooner than we would normally have taken them out. I think we kept them warm while they fluffed up. I think the Brinsea Advance and Mini 2 Advance are just ideal for quail. I've had no problem at all with quail, no concerns. They can stand up perfectly fine, they can stretch themselves. It's fine. And probably for chickens too, but for ducks their necks are just that little bit longer. And anyway, enough of me. Let's see the ducklings. Well, there you go. They are absolutely adorable and I love them. Please like and subscribe if you want to see more from the ducklings. I'll try and put some update videos on there because I have a feeling they're going to be fun. I'll try and put some update videos on how we do with looking after them, how we do with taming them, and of course naming them and so on. We're going to try and find out what kind of duck they are. I would be really interested if any of you have any idea, because we have no clue. I've tried Googling and having a look, and I'm pretty sure what one of them is. But if you have any theories, please do let me know, because I haven't got a clue. I'll leave you on a little bit more ducky action, and thank you very much, and goodbye.